Rome, 67 AD. A wedding is happening. A crowd lines the road, pressing forward to catch a glimpse of the bride. She is young, she is beautiful, she is dressed in the full robes of an empress. The emperor is smiling proudly. The crowd is quiet. Not the good kind of quiet, because there's one thing the crowd knows. The bride is a boy. His name is Sporus. He has been castrated on imperial orders. He did not agree to any of this. He has no say. He has no choice. He is property, dressed up as a dead woman, handed to the most powerful man alive, and that is just the wedding. It gets worse from here. Part 1. The Palace Trap. A few months ago, imperial guards dragged you from the market dirt to the marble floors of the palace. You belong to Emperor Nero now. He rules the known world with absolute cruelty. He treats human beings like disposable assets. He walks into the room and stares at your face. He doesn't see a terrified boy. He sees Poppaea Sabina. She was his second wife. To understand what happens to you, you need to understand what happened to her. She was by most accounts stunning, brilliant, ambitious, the kind of woman who knew exactly what she was doing in a world that didn't give women many moves. Nero was obsessed with her. He imported an entire fleet of donkeys to fill her bathtubs with milk. Then in 65 AD, she died. She was pregnant. The official record, childbirth complications. The version that circulated through every dinner table in Rome was that Nero came home drunk after chariot racing and kicked her, resulting in her tragic death. Nero wept publicly. He gave her a state funeral Rome had never seen. He had the Senate declare her a goddess by imperial decree. Then he went home and kept her hair by his bedside. That second part, that is the one that tells you everything. The hair is private. The hair is a man who could not accept that the face he needed most was rotting in the ground. He was 27 years old. He had already killed his own mother, already executed his first wife on fabricated charges, already burned through enough cruelty to exhaust a lifetime. None of that had broken him. This did, and a broken man with absolute power is the most dangerous thing in the ancient world. Part 2. The procedure. The order comes quickly. Straight the boy. Let's be clear about what this meant in Rome. There was no anesthesia. There was wine. You were held down on a table by palace physicians following imperial orders. The historians don't record whether you screamed. They don't record whether you begged. They record only that it was done. The recovery takes weeks. Your body has to survive what was done to it. This procedure in the ancient world killed frequently. The physical shock to the body alone was enough to end it, and infection did the rest for those who made it past the first hours. No one recorded what those weeks looked like for you. When you were finally on your feet, the transformation did not pause. The palace physicians moved on. They pull out Poppaea's actual wardrobe, her imperial robes, her jewels, her cosmetics. You are seated in front of a mirror and reworked feature by feature until one morning the thing looking back from the mirror was not you anymore. It was accurate. It was convincing. It was dressed in an empress's clothes, but the person it was supposed to be was already dead. Part 3. Life as the Empress. Your new life has a shape. You travel with Nero everywhere. When he rides in his imperial litter, you ride with him. When he performs at festivals, you sit in the imperial box. When he holds court, you stand beside his throne dressed as his wife. He introduces you to governors. This is my wife. Her name is Poppaea. There was a specific pause before each bow, a half second where a man's face adjusted, where he decided how to behave. Every room, every day. The senators who found this insane wrote about it extensively after he was dead. While he was alive, they kept those opinions in a very small room with no windows. At night, you are Nero's. You understand what that means? When Nero is pleased, you are safer. You learn this fast because you have no other choice. Some nights you remember what your body used to feel like. You miss hanging out in the market with your friends, going around stalls and stealing loaves of bread. You knew exactly which baker turned his back first and which alley to cut down when he shouted. You remember the burn in your lungs, the dust kicking up around your sandals, the hard scrape of stone when you fell, and the laugh when you got back up. You miss being a boy. However, nostalgia is a luxury you cannot afford. You don't have time to miss your past, because you're chained to a man who is actively destroying the future. In fact, Rome is quietly going bankrupt because of his choices. He raised taxes, but when that was not enough, he did something far more dangerous. He devalued the currency. He reduced the silver content of the denarius so he could mint more coins with less actual value, essentially triggering state-sponsored inflation. In simple terms, Nero is harvesting his own people to pay for his vanity, a choice that, in retrospect, will turn deadly, because the sensible thing for an emperor to do would be to stay, to balance the budget and help a starving empire. Instead, Nero decides